Your bill just went up again, and you still don't know which click did it. You open Cursor, you're mid-task, an agent is halfway through refactoring a file, and suddenly you get a message that your usage is exhausted. Now picture the opposite of that. You open your Cursor billing tab once, spend 4 minutes setting 3 switches correctly, and from that day forward, you always know exactly how much you're gonna pay. You're never cut off in the middle of real work, and you never open your card statement to find a charge you can't explain. That's the entire outcome of this video, not a vague tips and tricks list. One specific configuration, done once, that permanently changes how Cursor charges you. Here's why this actually works, and it's not complicated. Cursor doesn't charge you per question anymore. It charges you per unit of compute your requests actually consume, and different models burn that compute at wildly different speeds. So the fix isn't use Cursor less. The fix is controlling which model touches your money and putting a hard ceiling on what you're willing to spend, so the system protects you instead of quietly draining your card. That's the whole method, and in a minute, I'll show you exactly where every one of these settings lives. Before we get into it, tap like on this one, drop a comment with which plan you're on right now, and hit subscribe, because I test every new AI pricing change the week it happens, and this channel is where you'll see it explained before most people even notice their bill moved. All right, let's open Cursor. First, you need to understand what you're actually looking at, because most people configure this blind, and that's exactly why they get burned. Every paid Cursor plan gives you a monthly pool of included usage, measured in real dollars, not in a count of requests. On the Pro plan, that pool is $20 worth of model compute. Sitting next to that pool is a separate mode called Auto. Auto is effectively unlimited on a paid plan, and it does not touch your $20 pool at all, because Cursor routes auto requests to an efficient model chosen automatically for the task. The moment you manually pin a frontier model, something like a top-tier Claude or GPT model, or you turn on max mode for a hard problem, that's when your included pool actually starts draining. So the very first thing to check is Symbol. Go to Settings, then Usage, and look at your current usage dashboard. You'll see a breakdown of what's consumed your pool this month and which model did it. If you've never looked at this before, this step alone usually explains 90% of your surprise charges. Now, step 2, and this is the one people skip. In that same billing section, there is a toggle for usage-based pricing, sometimes labeled on-demand usage. Here's exactly what that toggle controls. If it's off, once your included pool runs out, Cursor simply falls back to the included, slower tier of usage at no extra charge to you ever. You might get throttled during peak hours, but your card is never touched beyond your subscription price. If it's on, once your pool runs out, Cursor keeps working exactly like before, but now every additional request bills you at the raw model rate in real time with no ceiling, unless you've set one. Go find that toggle right now. If you've never touched it, there's a real chance it's already on, because some plans default to on-demand billing being enabled. For most people watching this, turning it off is the safer starting point, especially while you're still learning which model fits which task. You can always flip it back on later for a heavy project sprint. Step 3, and this is where the actual protection happens. If you decide you do want on-demand billing turned on, because you don't want to ever be throttled mid-task, don't leave it open-ended. It's later once you understand your real usage pattern. Right below that toggle is a spend limit field. Set an actual number there. Start conservative, something like $10 or $20 above your included pool, and raise it if you need to. Once that cap is hit, Cursor stops billing you further and switches you back to included, rate-limited usage instead of quietly running up an invoice. This one field is the difference between a predictable subscription and someone waking up to a $400 charge because an overnight agent run didn't know when to stop. Now, here's the mistake that catches almost everyone, and I mean almost everyone, even people who've used Cursor for months. They set up auto mode, they feel safe, and then they run a big agentic task, something that touches 15 or 20 files, makes several tool calls, rewrites logic across the codebase. They assume, because it just felt like one request, that it cost them one request's worth of money. It didn't. A single complex agent session that spans many files and many tool calls can consume what used to be 5, sometimes 10 separate requests worth of compute, all bundled into what feels like one continuous action. If that session happened to use a manually pinned frontier model instead of auto, that one afternoon of work can realistically cost you somewhere between $3 and $8, sometimes more, out of your $20 monthly pool. Do that twice in a week without checking your usage tab, and your entire month's allowance is gone before the month is half over. So the warning is this: agentic, multi-file tasks are the single biggest silent driver of overage charges, far more than simple chat questions ever will be. And the model you have selected when you launch that task matters enormously. Keep that in mind as we go into the next part, because it directly shapes the setting I'm about to show you. Step 4 is specifically for people running heavy, complex work, meaning multi-step agents or max mode. Go to Settings, then Usage, and look for the max mode budget option. This lets you set a separate monthly dollar cap that applies only to max mode tasks. Once that specific cap is reached, max mode tasks are blocked outright, rather than continuing to charge you out. This matters because max mode is where the most expensive, longest context requests happen, so isolating its budget from your general pool gives you a second layer of protection, on top of the overall spend limit you already set. If you're a solo developer working on side projects, a max mode budget of $5 to $10 a month is usually plenty, and you'll know instantly when you're actually pushing into territory that needs it. Step 5, and this is the habit that actually makes everything above worth doing. Model selection is a decision you make every single time you open a chat or launch an agent, not something you set once and forget. Default to auto for everyday work, reading code, small edits, simple questions, routine refactors. Only reach for a manually pinned frontier model when the task genuinely requires deeper reasoning, something auto has already struggled with, or a problem where correctness matters more than speed. Think of auto as your default lane, and the premium models as a tool you deliberately pick up, not a mode you leave running in the background. That single habit change on its own has been shown to keep heavy users within their included pool on Pro without ever touching on-demand billing at all. Here's the golden move, the one setting combination that actually solves this problem end to end. Turn on-demand billing off until you've watched your usage dashboard for at least one full week. During that week, default every task to auto, and only switch models manually when you consciously decide the task needs it. At the end of that week, look at your usage tab and see how close you came to the included pool. If you barely touched it, you're done. You now understand your real workflow, and you can leave things exactly as they are.
If you came close to the limit, that's your signal to either upgrade your plan or turn on-demand billing back on with a spend cap you've now calculated from real data, instead of guessing. That's the entire system. Understand the pool, control the toggle, cap the spend, isolate max mode, and default to auto. Do those 5 things once, and you will never be surprised by a Cursor bill again. I test new AI deals every week. If a new free method comes out, you'll see it here first. One more thing before you go, because this actually matters for anyone on a team plan. If you're on a Teams or Enterprise seat, your included usage is often split into 2 separate pools, one for Cursor's own first-party models and one for third-party API usage. And each pool can have its own cap, set by an admin, not by you individually. If you're on a team account and none of what you just configured seems to be changing your usage numbers, that's not you doing it wrong. That's an admin-level setting overriding your personal preferences, and it's worth asking whoever manages your workspace to confirm what's actually capped on their end. If you made it this far, you now understand Cursor's billing better than most people who've paid for it for a year. The next video breaks down exactly which model to pick for which kind of task, with real cost numbers for each one. So you're not just capping your spend, you're spending it on the right thing. Subscribe if you want that comparison the moment it's live, because pricing on these models shifts often enough that last month's answer is already out of date.